That's right. And the French crew, and the Serbian crew. It was fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Surprisingly, though, and I don't know why I should be surprised, but all the Serbs spoke very good English, so they were most accommodating. But yeah, just trying to understand some of the translation. I would see the Irish directors say something to the French first, and then the French first would say it to the Serbian lighting team. And I'd think, no, that's not what the Irish director said. Or he'd be saying it to the the French stunt team. And I'm going, no, I reckon that's just gone a bit wrong. So I'd have to go over to the French stunt team and go, it's not what he wanted. What he wanted was you to do this and this and this instead.
So you were
I was the translator,
director.
And you're trying to keep your American accent kind of straight
That's right.
and narrow.
Exactly.
I couldn't believe this when I saw you because you seemed so bulked up. I thought, what happened to Guy Pearce? I mean, when you were a kid doing Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, you were, but you've been so lean ever since.
I know. I went back to the gym and I
steroids.
Steroids. Yeah, that's right. And pumping steroids as much as I could. No, it was a healthy regime of I say healthy sarcastically. Healthy regime of protein powder and lots of Serbian meat, and lifting weights at a Serbian gym.
What do you think about the experiments in human beings in this movie?
Well, I mean,
nice glasses.
Thanks. Yeah, I need them. Obviously. Yeah. What do I think about it? I think it's terrible if that kind of stuff's going on. I mean, who knows if it's going on or not? Is that what you mean?
I don't know. You think?
Yeah, I think I think if something like that's happening, then it's good to be stopped, I suppose.
So you see this Snow as a classic kind of anti-hero, the guy who's in a way smarter than everybody else on screen, and yet at the same time is a cynical superficially, but is actually a romantic at heart.
Yes, to all of them. I don't know that I certainly don't see him smarter than anybody else in the room. I don't think he was smarter than Maggie's character by any means. But he's obviously a misogynist on some sort of level, so Maggie's smarts kind of get shoved aside a little bit. But I don't know. I think I think the typical sort of action hero, somebody who's sort of really earnest and takes themselves very seriously, is not what the guys wanted. They made it very clear from the beginning that they were after somebody who was irreverent and a little tired of all of this and really scared of heights, and just found this whole thing kind of that he's kind of past all this now. But really, in the situation that he's in, he's obviously somebody with tremendous skill and is capable of, of executing an escape if need be. So it was finding that balance, I suppose, between somebody who was capable and somebody who didn't care, I think.
Okay.
Did Luke explain to you why you could do this movie so well? Because you did it so well, obviously.
Oh, thank you very much.
Did he explain why I want you on this job?
He might have done. I can't really remember, to be honest.
Nobody would say Guy Pearce action hero right away. I mean,
Live action hero.
That's right. Well, I don't know. I'm trying to remember back to the conversation. In fact, I met him here at this hotel downstairs just before I went off to do Mildred Pierce, and I can't really remember the conversation other than him sort of explaining the character to me.
Right.
And then when I was in New York doing Mildred, I met with Stephen and James, and really got a sense from them about the humour and the irreverence, I guess, or not so much the humour, but just Stephen said, I want a leading guy who we can laugh at and laugh with, who he kind of thinks he's pretty funny himself, but really it's just that he's probably more trouble than he gives himself credit for and allows himself to be, and so he masks that with humour, being a smart aleck.
The opening sequence could be out of something from Marlowe, the private detective that's going to be. Did you talk about that at all? That great opening number.
Yeah, I mean, it was just going from those extremes of somebody who was getting belted as hard as he was getting belted, and clearly is tough enough. You know, I mean, there are those guys out there who are just built like tanks who really can take a beating, and you know, they don't really sort of crumble under that sort of pressure, and to still maintain a sense of humour, you know, was just a sort of was two sort of ends of a spectrum that they wanted to try and get across, and clearly wanted to establish that.
This is the movie
in the
you're
beginning. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So it was made pretty clear to me, and that's what I found interesting about it. I didn't want to play. I mean, I've not really been asked to play action heroes before, but I've sort of been asked to play kind of heroic characters before in things, and sometimes they are just a bit too serious, you know. I think if you're going to do an action-oriented film, it either needs to be super clever or at least a bit funny, or you know, have something going for it other than just straight action. I personally don't get a lot out of that, so I enjoyed, you know, where his head was at. I love the fact that really he was only going out to MS1 to rescue his friend. He didn't give a shit about the president's daughter. You know, I just thought that was
He was going up there to get maced.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you know, the most important woman in the world is the president's daughter, and it's not really that for her. No, not to him, exactly. So I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, that's I like this character. And I hope I can see sequel and more. But
That means I've got to go back to the gym, though.
Yeah. So that's my question. If they offer you and you wanna do again.
Yes. Well, they can do prosthetic things now. You know, you can wear an entire plastic suit that looks like. I mean, look at Batman. You know, he looks like ripped.
But that's not flesh. I mean, we see your arms.
True.
Were they
but
fake arms?
No, they were real arms.
Okay.
But I'm sure these days they could do, you know, real arms or fake arms that look real.
Or a digital
arms.
Let's do. Yeah.
Where are my digital arms? Damn it!
Yeah.
You just wore a green suit, and they then put the body in later. You know?
People have, since I've seen this, people have mentioned Die Hard and Escape from New York.
Mm-hmm.
Did you think of Snake Plissken or John? Is it McClane?
Yeah.
When you were doing this?
I didn't. No. And, you know, I'm sure subconsciously, you know, all those sort of Bruce Willis type characters that he's played and various characters like that, you know, sit somewhere in the back of your psyche. But I find it best not to sort of delve back into that stuff too much. Otherwise, it does feel like a sort of plagiarist act. So, you know, I'm always struggling to try and feel original in what I'm doing anyway. So, I mean, I remember when we did Mildred Pierce and Todd said to us, look, you know, by all means have a look at the original film, but it's nothing like what we're going to do. And I watched the entire thing, and Kate, I know, watched it for about 10 minutes and went, yep, that's enough, don't need to see more, you know. Because, you know, I think that sometimes that sort of thing can go a bit wrong for you, and it's then too present, you know, and you're fighting against anything that's slightly similar, and you end up screwing yourself up a little bit, but I can see the connection. I haven't seen Escape from New York for a long time, so I don't really remember it that well. But I remember Bruce Willis and his performances, you know, in various things.
Right. Okay.
Well, aside from the protein powder and the Serbian meats, what was involved in the physical training for this? Like, did you have to learn a martial art or anything?
No,
Any
no.
kind
I
of
mean,
training
there's no
for stunts.
No, I mean, I've done enough stunts throughout my life. I mean, we had to learn the choreography of the fights as such. You know, there's that sequence which keeps being referred to in the film, which is in the bathroom, in the hotel room, you know, sequence where it's misunderstood that I shoot, you know, the guy that they think I shoot. So the
opening, the
that's
flashback
right.
sequence
Yeah,
that
that's
we see
right.
on the film
Yeah.
footage.
So that fight scene where we end up in the bath and I'm hitting him across the head with a toilet seat, etc., that was a highly choreographed, like a dance, I suppose. So, you know, so we had to learn that as such. But I wasn't sort of having to learn martial arts or anything like that, you know. It was more just about staying flexible and going to the gym and, you know, I'm fairly coordinated, so...
This would have been incredibly difficult to do, though, if you had injured yourself. And
I did injure myself every week. There was some injury, not necessarily major injuries, but I would pull a muscle in my leg, or I fired a gun at one point in this tiny little tunnel. Maggie and I had this big sequence where we're crawling through these low tunnels, and I shot somebody and the bullet casing flew out of the gun and ricocheted off the roof and went straight down the back of my shirt.
Wow.
And of course I had that flak vest on, which is kind of tricky to get off, and the casing was really hot, so it
So
burnt.
it's burning you.
It burnt a mark on my back, the shape of a bullet casing, which I think is gone now. But so that happened 1 week. Every week, literally every week, I should have brought my diary, because every week there was something that happened.
When something like that happens, do you let it all go and just start screaming?
I actually did, yes, and they have me on film going, ah.
Get this fucking vest off me!
So I'm so nervous that's going to be on the DVD.
Or a interview at the
Yeah,
work.
that's right.
But
Well, that's right.
But I wondered also if, because, like when you were describing that choreographed fight scene where you're in the bathtub and everything else, if they say, well, we're going to do this stuff at the end because if Guy gets hurt, then we can maybe try a stunt double to finish the scene, but we need him for these scenes to...
No.
you know.
They pretty much work to the schedule of what's possible as far as setting up things in different studios, because it was all done in studio. Basically, we did a couple of things in the streets in Serbia, but it was basically all done in studio. So, no, I mean, I think the hope is that we're not going to get hurt, and
You'll last through it.
I'll last through the
Can you
film.
talk a little bit about Maggie?
Oh yeah, I mean she was great. You know, she was an absolute delight. Have you guys spoken to her yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, right. I mean she's lovely and delightful, and we connected very easily when we first met because we.
Shows on screen, big time.
Does it right?
Oh yeah.
Well, she's such a smart girl, and she's got a lovely sense of humour herself, and she's so kind of gorgeous and just lovely to be around. You know, and she really just wanted to make sure that everything we did was. You know, because it's a fun piece. It's kind of a big piece of entertainment, really. But within that, as characters, you're playing real people, and you know you're trying to find the credibility. And I think for her, particularly, I mean, she's playing a character who's out there on a particular mission, and then she's caught in this harrowing situation. You know, whereas the character I'm playing, he's been in harrowing situations before, so he can be a little bit more relaxed about it, for want of a better word. So Maggie was just wanting to make sure that, you know, everything we did had credibility and that she didn't look like she was sort of panicking more than she should be, or that she was panicking enough when, you know, and that everything kind of looked as it should. So we had a lot of discussions about, and just sort of keeping each other supported, I think, through everything we did. And she was a great one for that. You know, she was as ready to give support as she needed it. So I love it when you work with actors and you feel that kind of connection. So we had a lovely time together. Yeah.
And she said there was a makeout scene at the very end that you had to do many different versions of the ending, and that the two of you actually improvised the final walk away about the 10 minutes. And
Oh yeah, that's right. Because there was
the Casablanca walk away.
That's right. There was a little bit of a. That's right. I guess it's an homage to Casablanca. There was a little bit of scripted stuff, but you know, not enough for us to fill in the 200 meters that we had to walk down this road. So yeah, we had a bit of improvising going on, which was kind of fun.
Could you talk about Prometheus or your role, or
Not a lot. I can't really,
Okay.
because they're
They'll
still.
sue you?
They'll sue me. That's right. I'll never work in this town again. So I can't really, to be honest.
Well, that was it. So, just the preamble about what you can't say.
What
is
I
you
can't
can-
say is what I can't say. No, I mean, you know, we've obviously seen the thing online of my character doing the TED lecture, which I think was a way to sort of, which I think is really clever, is a way to sort of establish some of the ideas and themes that are in the film in a really subliminal. I mean, they're kind of direct, but you know, until you watch the film, you don't know, and I can't give them away, unfortunately.
It's so hard to keep a secret these days. Isn't
It is hard to keep a secret. I'm pretty good at keeping a secret, but it is hard, yeah. But they're also, that's the other thing, they're still working out their kind of marketing strategy, what they want to be able to say about it, what they don't. Obviously, everyone is talking about it like it's an Alien prequel.
which he came out and said. I mean, that's what I read, that they confirmed.
Wow.
yeah,
No, well, they're basically saying, look, it's not. I mean, you can connect the dots to the Alien films,
Oh, okay.
but it's far more a standalone film. The ideas and themes in the film actually far outweigh any of the Alien films. It's
Okay.
fascinating, I have to say. So, you know, obviously the Weyland character is there. You know about Weyland in the original films, but they're very keen to push that it's not just an Alien prequel, that it's actually something far sort of grander than
And
that.
did
I
that
suppose.
just come to you, or did you hear Ridley Scott through your agent is doing this
Did
sci-fi
what just come to me?
Prometheus?
What happened?
Did your agent call you up and say, "Guy, I think there's something here. You might want to go for it," or?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and I don't think it's not like Ridley came straight to me by any means. It was a role that I think that established some of the other roles first, and Chris, my agent, was obviously very keen for Ridley and I to meet, and I think we were scheduled to meet anyway to talk about just a variety of things, and it was just one of those serendipitous things that just kind of worked out. So it wasn't a direct offer, no.
Do you think this is now going to be the sci-fi period of your career, where you are going to be at?
Clearly.
Yeah, you're going to be at whatever Comic-Con or World
I
of
went to
Wonder
Comic-Con. I went to Comic-Con, funnily enough. When is Comic-Con? It's what month?
August usually.
Yes.
July.
Okay, so I went last year. I went with Guillermo del Toro's film Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. But of course everybody went, don't be afraid of the, let's talk about Prometheus. So I'm sure they'll want us to go back.
This year?
Well, the film
Won't
comes out in
Prometheus
June.
in-
Yeah, that's
so it'll
right.
be-
And in fact, I think Ridley and Charlize did something at Comic-Con last year after, because I knew they were there. But I don't think I'd shot. Oh no, I must have shot. I think it was around the time that I'd started shooting for Prometheus.
Do you think it'll go to Cannes?
I've no idea.
Nobody said book these days on your calendar.
Nobody
Not
calls
for
the
Cannes,
actors.
no.
Yeah, they do. They want them there if they go.
No, I don't think. Well, not that I know of Cannes at this
Okay.
stage, because Cannes the middle of May, right?
It's
So-
May 16th
Yeah,
through the
no. Well, they're
28th.
talking about us doing promotional stuff towards the end of May. So
Okay.
So not that I know about Cannes.
And what are you doing now?
Having a break.
You're sure?
Taking 6 months off. Yeah.
And is that because
Just because I've
mentally you need
worked
to?
way too much in the last 2 years, and I'm just sort of blank. So I read scripts and glaze over at the moment. So I need to just kind of go and be me for a
You've
while.
always done that though, haven't you? You worked and worked and taken a step back.
Yeah, I mean, you just get to a point where you become vacuous, and you've got nothing to sort of. I just can't be anyone else. I don't have any energy for being anyone else other than me. So yeah, and it's really important. It's and people sort of say, yeah, but just read this one script. I'm like, no, I can't. There's no point in me reading this script because I'll resent it. I won't actually get anything from it. So yeah, I'm in the middle of taking some time off, other than doing this, which is I still get to be me though.
Guy, I'm same age of you. I was
24.
Exactly.
Birthday.
So 90 something.
That's right, 1982.
So yeah, lately I kind of feel a little bit like a midlife crisis moment. I kind of see more kind of different point of view
Mhm.
from last year or 5 years ago. So have you ever had this kind of moment? Oh, okay. So
All the
let's-
time,
let's-
yes. I definitely think that you feel yourself mature. You feel yourself you look back at things from the past and go, okay, I might do that differently now than how I would have done it then. So that's the best thing about obviously getting older is being broader minded about things and being able to deal with things better. I mean, I used to struggle with work a lot years ago, and
You mean you were
it's been sort of
self-critical so
documented.
much?
All sorts of things, really. I just found the whole thing kind of daft, really. So I needed to step back and sort of see it, find the validity in it, and look at it from a mature point of view. I mean, I've worked as an actor since I was a kid, so I think I just continued on, and before I knew it, I was having this career as an actor, but it was all based on the decision of an 8-year-old. And I needed to kind of step back and go, hang on a second, as a 30-odd-year-old, or however old I was at the time, find its worth and find the importance in it, if there was any, and
So it was a midlife crisis 10 years too early.
I think so, yeah. Well, because I'd started my working life when I was 8 instead of 18, it happened 10 years before it should have.
Is that why you still live in Australia, so you can kind of cocoon yourself there every now and then?
Well,
Or feel rooted?
That's not why. I mean, I just love Australia, so there's no reason for me to move, really. And I do enjoy the distance. I do enjoy when I finish work being able to go home and not being in the office still, So there's just no reason for me to leave,
Any plans to work with Nolan again?
No plans at this stage. I mean, he's obviously a brilliant guy, so, it would be great.
Is there any truth to the rumors that you were going to be one of the Batman villains, or was that all just rumors?
It was pretty much rumour. I mean, I did talk to him about one of the characters, but only sort of vaguely. But I think those rumours had started before that anyway. So as soon as people knew he was doing Batman, I think people just linked me to him anyway.
Can you say which character it was? Like,
was
was
the
it
Liam
Two-Face?
Neeson? Was the Liam Neeson character?
Oh, okay.
And is there anything?
But I was too young, you know. So.
Way too young.
Way too young, too handsome, too young, too talented. They needed a sort of schlubby older kind
He's a
of
boxer, you know.
every man.
So is there at this point?
Sorry, Liam, that's not true. You know I love you.
At this point into your life, is there anything that you've said to yourself, "I'm gonna definitely do whatever it is," like whether it's tackle
Work-wise, do you mean?
Yeah,
No.
some Shakespearean or
No.
Chekhovian role, or
No,
do
I don't work
direct
like that at
something,
all.
or do no.
No, I really thrive on maintaining an openness to the universe and seeing what it brings, because I find the surprise in that is what really keeps me going, and it's what, you know, and I mean, maybe that's kind of immature, and maybe that's a part of me that needs to change too, but at the same time, I don't think so. I really think that that's a big part of where that spontaneity is where I find inspiration. So I don't have an ideal character that I want to play. I don't have a sort of a desire to sort of specifically go and do something, you know, or try something that I've not tried before. I feel like every time I read scripts and every time I choose a new job, it's trying something that I haven't tried before, to a certain degree, you know. So no, not really.
Okay.
Could be on one of those crazy Australian TV shows that I'm seeing these
Yes,
days.
that's right. A reality sort of cooking and in space show.
Swimming with sharks. Or
That's right. Swimming with sharks whilst cooking in space in Australia with Guy Pearce.
And
Come do it now.
Was this originally called Breakout?
Sorry?
Was this originally called Breakout?
No, it was always Lockout in the time that I've been connected to it.
Okay.
So it may have been before that, but not that I know of.
And are you signed to do a sequel with this?
I can't remember, to be honest. Probably.
Oh, okay. Luke Besson, I just think wouldn't probably.
But
Guy, you're so career oriented.
I'm sure. I know. I'm sure I have a caveat over the script or something like that.
Oh, okay. Pending approval.
That's right.
Yeah.
If it's not funny enough, or I have to be too buffed or something.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank
One more
you.
question.
Question: the smoking was really hard for you in this film?
No, I mean smoking's fun, you know.
You smoked,
I used
or-
to.
oh,
I used to.
no.
It's a horrible thing to do, but people do it because they love it, you know. So no, I don't enjoy smoking anymore. And usually now they give you those horrible herbal cigarettes that you might as well smoke real cigarettes because they make you sick anyway. All right, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.